Live from Arkansas's streaming news leader, this is THV 11 Morning News at 8 on THV 11 Plus.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us here just past 8 o'clock on this Friday morning, but it is not your typical Friday morning as we get ready for this snow, ice, sleet-covered weekend.
Kind of anticipation and some nervousness.
It reminds me of like when you're a kid in school and you're anticipating something big that's coming up. We've been doing that all week. It's like, let's just get to it. I'm ready.
And today is, tonight is the night?
Apparently, yes. And apparently Addie, my 11-year-old, she is the meteorologist at school because kids all want to know.
Well, of course. She has access to you.
I have to give her the, the briefing before the morning.
The age-appropriate version.
Yeah, yesterday we had a lesson about the difference between sleet and freezing rain. Perfect. So that was fun. So she can explain that today.
That's all I listen to is I hear freezing rain, I freak out.
I know.
I don't want to hear freezing rain.
It's not a good
thing.
So
you panic.
I panic. Oh my gosh.
Don't panic.
I hear sleet. I'm like, okay.
His hands grip the wheel, literally.
Every time he said, I've literally had to talk to Steve, my father-in-law, Kim, my mother-in-law, Madeline, my wife. Tanner also got a breakdown as well. And he was like, I don't like freezing rain, Dad. I don't like it. And I said, me neither, Bub. So,
anyway, Addie.
Yeah, we'll have to deal with a little bit of that. I think Southern Arkansas is going to get the bulk of that, unfortunately. We're going to have to watch for power outages, especially.
That's so bad for Southern Arkansas.
With the temperatures so cold.
Yeah. We'll talk more about it, but so far this morning traffic hasn't been bad. I think people are taking off, maybe running those errands early.
Right. Yeah. I think it was Hayden that said yesterday maybe we should do traffic reports to the grocery store.
Yes, it's a great idea.
I don't think a lot of people are going to work.
Hang on, bear with me for a sec. So I'm looking at grocery stores. All right, so now we're looking from North Little Rock into Little Rock. There's if you go back towards JFK, there's a Kroger that way.
Right.
That's probably pretty packed as well.
There's a Walgreens somewhere.
Keep going down. I'm trying to. There's really not a lot of grocery stores in that area.
No, Dollar General, Family Dollar.
Yes.
And I do want to say, somebody texted in the other day and said, "What are the D's that are on the map? You see the W's and the D's on the map. Well, those are Walmart and Dollar Generals.
Yeah.
So I mean,
there you go.
That kind of gives you an idea if you see a lot of traffic around those two areas, what's going on as far as our grocery stores go. But this is a look at the North Terminal interchange, and traffic is pretty light compared to what we usually see on our morning commute at this time. So not a lot of people out on the roads this morning. A closer look at where we have a few slowdowns, but this is where we were just looking on that live traffic map, and it was a little bit slower a few minutes ago, but we're up to about 60 miles per hour now on 30 westbound. Still a little bit slow after the Alexander exit on 30 eastbound up to the 430 interchange. As you can see, it looks like in front of the Bass Pro Shop, about that area, it's about 32 miles per hour. Drive times still look good if you're coming into downtown Little Rock. So Tracy, not bad this morning.
Well, we have talked all morning about the fact that the winds were going to pick up here before long. We've already, again, seen our warmest temperatures. We're right around 40 as we are heading into 8 o'clock hour. Again, that wind chill is around 30. We are seeing the east-northeast winds sustained around 22 miles per hour. So, again, that cold air is being ushered in for sure. Again, we're starting to see some bigger gusts as we're heading through. Now, the wind, of course, is coming from the north, but this storm system is going to come from the south, and we're looking at it to make its way into western Arkansas around 3 to 6 p.m. this evening, 6 to 9 here in central, and 9 p.m. to midnight there in the northeast. Now, what to expect? Again, predominantly sleet here in central Arkansas. We were talking about that freezing rain. This is a bit of that line there, and I think it could fluctuate just a little bit, but southern Arkansas, unfortunately, is going to receive most of that heavier sleet and that freezing rain with snow to our north. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about the difference between the freezing rain and sleet and why it's such a big deal. I'll give you that information I gave my daughter yesterday. We'll get it all squared away. We'll talk more about what to expect coming up.
Well, Tracy, you just said it. The line between the sleet and the snow is going to be very important in shaping this weekend's storm.
And that is why the THV 11 weather team will be streaming updates all throughout the weekend. You can catch Tom today at 2:30 on THV 11 Plus for the latest before the winter weather moves in.
Ahead of this anticipated winter weather storm, Entergy has spent this week putting together a plan for power lines and power plants.
And THV 11's Tamer Knight is live in Little Rock to show us how Entergy is getting prepared ahead of the storm. I can see the truck behind you, Tamer.
Good morning, Karen and Hayden. That's right. They have been working proactively all week by trimming trees, inspecting power lines, and also they tell me that they are expecting ice to accumulate on those power lines and tree limbs, which could lead to potential power outages. However, as you can see behind me, they are working to get ahead of that curve. Entergy also says that it has prepared the power plants to make sure they are also protected from the cold weather, ice, and the snow that is expected. Additional resources have also been brought into Arkansas to assist with the restoration efforts.
We always hope for the best and plan for the worst. We do expect to have some impact to the system across the state. It will depend on the amount and where the freezing rain occurs. Sleet is less of an issue for us than the freezing rain. The freezing rain will accumulate on the power lines and on the tree limbs.
Now, there are approximately 3,500 employees in the state ready to respond in particular areas expected to have the most impact. Now, if power outages do occur, Entergy tells me that the customers at home can report those outages at 1-800-ENERGY or using the mobile app. Now, Entergy asks for patience as they work diligently to restore power in the event that the outages does go out. Now, remember, the workers are going to be working in hazardous conditions such as hazardous roadways and, of course, the frigid temperatures. Now, safety is a priority for you at home, but also for the Entergy employees. For THV 11 News, I'm Tamer Knight.
Getting ready to roll right behind you this morning. All right, Tamer, thank you. Speaking of every utility company, closely following what kind of precipitation is expected this weekend, or in the case of Entergy, as we just saw, with such a wide area, they're expecting all kinds of precipitation. As Tamer mentioned, trucks are on standby here in Little Rock, ready to deploy. Now, the same goes for gas provider Summit Utilities and municipal systems like Conway Corp, all expecting a very busy weekend.
One of the things we really try to focus on too is our customer service and communication. These kind of events, it makes people nervous, so we want to make sure that we're communicating with them effectively about what's going on.
We will have personnel staged all throughout the region to help our emergency response times and to make it so that we can get to the emergencies as quickly as possible by strategically locating our people throughout.
Officials continue to remind residents to stay clear of downed power lines and act quickly if they smell natural gas. Leave that area immediately and contact your gas provider right away.
As you settle in this weekend, another safety risk to keep in mind is carbon monoxide. It's colorless, it's odorless, and it can cause sudden illness. And in severe cases, it can be deadly. Carbon monoxide comes from everyday sources like fireplaces, furnaces, and portable generators. Experts recommend checking carbon monoxide detector batteries now to be sure they're working before this winter weather conditions set in. If you do plan to use a fireplace, a furnace, or portable generator to stay warm, the North Little Rock Fire Department is reminding residents to use them safely. Fire officials say these heating sources are common this time of year, but the risks go up when they're not used properly or they're put in unsafe locations. So they're urging people to be mindful of where the equipment is set up and follow those safety guidelines.
Keep all combustibles at least 3 feet from whatever heating unit you're using, space heater, electrical heater, gas heater. 3 feet clearance, that's typically the rule of thumb. And whatever you're doing, if you're using a space heater, electrical space heater, make sure you don't run that extension cord underneath the rug or anything like that.
They also say drivers need to give emergency crews plenty of space because they have to get through, and that's if you have to be out on the roads.
After seeing how this winter storm is shaping up here in Arkansas, millions across the U.S. are preparing for the impacts, especially in the Midwest and the East Coast. The storm could bring heavy snow, freezing temperatures, and dangerous ice in other parts of the South. CBS's Jared Hill has the very latest where this storm could hit the hardest.
Blinding lake-effect snow in upstate New York, a taste of what's to come as people from the East Coast to the Great Plains brace for a winter blast. Snowpack near Buffalo caused this gas station canopy to come crashing down. In Chicago, parts of Lake Michigan frozen over as temperatures may not creep above 0 degrees on Friday.
Layers, layers, and more layers. Only thing would be out would be my eyeballs.
Parts of New Jersey are dealing with a salt shortage ahead of the winter weather due to delivery delays.
It's going to become a problem come Saturday, Sunday.
In the south, salt trucks are out preparing for potentially dangerous ice.
Even a small amount of ice can lead to a hazard.
That's a big concern in Texas, as ice can weigh down power lines, triggering widespread outages. Generators were hard to come by in Fort Worth.
Second Harbor Frights, maybe stopped at 2 Lowe's, Home Depot, stopped at Bass Pro, nothing.
No generators at any of them?
Not one.
In 2021, more than 200 people died in the state in connection to a paralyzing ice storm. Governor Greg Abbott isn't expecting a repeat failure in the state's power grid.
The ERCOT grid has never been stronger, never been more prepared, and is fully capable of handling this winter storm.
Airlines are also calling in the heavy hitters. Delta bringing teams from its cold weather hubs in Atlanta. The Charlotte airport posted video of its snow removal equipment moving into place. Jared Hill, CBS News.
And let's check in one more time with Ashley King and a look at the roads at this hour.
Yeah, very light traffic on this Friday morning. It looks like what we were seeing as far as slowdowns go are already clearing up. It is 8:14 right now, and we can get a closer look at what I'm talking about. This is Interstate 430 at exit 128. As you can see, where it was slowed just a few minutes ago, it's already moving along nicely now. And so let's get a closer look at some of the areas where we had some slowdowns. North Terminal Interchange looks great. We're up to a normal speed there. The only slowdown we did have this morning was 30 westbound, not even 57 southbound or Interstate 40 west. It was just right here, and it's already moving at 58 miles per hour. And then we're already back up to pretty normal speed here on 30 eastbound too. Just a little bit of a slowdown 430 northbound where we were just looking. But that's about it. Our drive times look good if you're coming in from downtown or to downtown Little Rock from around the metro. So Tracy, just a very easy morning commute, but not an easy forecast, right?
No, and we're going to talk about that difference between the sleet and the freezing rain and why it is such a big deal. Again, we're talking about what to expect here in central Arkansas. Predominantly sleet, I think, is what we're going to see, anywhere from 2 to 4 inches. But if you go on either one of these lines here where you're getting a little bit more snow, again, it's going to deviate a little bit. So I still think we'll get a little snow here as well. Now to our south, we were expecting mostly sleet and again, some freezing rain as well. And again, that line could move a little bit. And we may have little periods of that just around the entire state. Now, what is the difference and why is it such a big deal? Well, sleet is one of those things that bounces off objects. It makes, you can hear it. You know what it is. It's almost like a little tiny hail, except not in severe weather, but it doesn't coat trees or power lines. That's the important part. The rain, if it freezes on contact, again, it coats everything and it just gets heavier and heavier. And that's when we start to see power outages in the roads as well. Talking about, again, that freezing rain, that warm area, very thick, doesn't have time to refreeze. Sleet, it has a little time. So again, when we talk about that warm area, that's why it is so important. We're going to break down what we are looking at across the state and all of the accumulation amounts coming up.